Hi team, got another workout video to run you through for today. It's another one of our Tuesday workouts. Again, fairly similar format to the workouts we've done over the last couple of weeks on the Thursdays. Today is going to be a 32-minute EMOM. So it's 8 rounds through what's on the board here, and you've got 4 stations that you're going to go through that will make up each round. Within your first minute, you've got 8 to 12 broad jumps to do. In your second minute, you've got 5 to 8 single arm rows on each side. Third minute, you've got 10 to 16 jumping lunges. And then in the fourth minute, you've got 5 to 8 single arm presses or push presses on each arm. So remember, with that time format, with it being every minute on the minute, that means you've got a minute's window to do each of them. So for example, you've got a minute to do your 8 to 12 broad jumps. Once you've done those reps, you'll then rest until the end of the minute before you move on to the next part. So you should be getting little chunks of rest in and around there. This is basically been split up, so you're alternating between upper and lower body exercises. So you've got a couple of explosive lower body exercises there in the broad jumps and the jumping lunges. And then with the single arm rows and the single arm presses, you've got a bit of body work as well. And we just want you to try and move through that as consistently as you can over the course of the workout. With those broad jumps and with the jumping lunges, we really want to try and see you guys get some power into them. So when I'm doing those broad jumps, it's just a jump forward, so just jump and land, and then I can turn around and just go back the way I've come. But remember, we really want to try and get some power into them and get as much distance as you can on each jump. With the jumping lunges, we're just looking for you to step down and then jump up into your next rep, try and get a bit of takeoff and a bit of power up at the top of them. If you think you're going to struggle with the jumping lunges at all, particularly with controlling the landing, you could always do them so that you go into a jump and then you land, reset, go down, jump, land, reset, and it might make it a little bit easier on the way down. I think pretty much everyone will be able to jump up out the lunge. It's just making sure that the down part is fairly controlled and you're not smashing your legs down into the floor at the bottom of each rep. With the body exercises, remember that the reps that are on here are each arm. So 5 to 8 on one side, 5 to 8 on the other, and the same with the presses or the push presses. Those single arm rows, your best bet is going to be to set up in a split stance like this and just pull the weight up towards you. So do 5 of them on each side or 8 of them on each side. And remember, we're looking to pull from the shoulder on them. So we don't want the shoulder to finish in a position where it's rolled forwards, but I'm pulling from my shoulder and trying to pull my shoulder back at the top. With these, they can either be a little bit more controlled, so it can just be done as a strict press, like that, or I can do it with a little bit of leg drive and make it a push press. Either way, you want to make sure your core position is fairly consistent there, so I'm not having to open my back up massively to try and get the weight up there, but I am staying fairly consistent with that. In terms of whether or not you should do a press or a push press, I would make that decision based on how heavy the weight you've got available to you is. If the weight is fairly light for you, press is probably going to work better, whereas if the weight is fairly heavy, you might want a little bit of extra momentum that comes with doing the push press. And so that probably will be the base of your decision. If you've got a selection of weights, it's pretty much up to you what you go for. The single arm press is probably going to feel a bit more like doing press ups. It's going to be a bit more of a muscular effort, whereas doing the push presses is a bit more powerful and dynamic. So nice simple workout, just the 4 exercises in there. In terms of the warm-up, this is what I've written on for the warm-up, if you want to take a screenshot of that or anything. So, because you've just got the 4 exercises in there, we're going to try and sort of spread the warm-up out pretty evenly towards the things that are in there. So to start off with, it's just a couple of rounds of normal lunges, so just stepping forwards and backwards. That'll be 5 on each leg like that. You'll then go into 10 air squats, so just up and down with your squats, again just to get the legs moving, and then 5 walkouts. And with your walkouts, you're just going to stretch your legs out, get into your press position, and then back up, just standing from there to get the shoulders working a little bit. Once you've gone twice through that, you've then got the second section. With downward dogs, my intention is to keep you in this position, press you right back into here, and then let you come right forward into this position. So that's 1 rep. So you'll do 10 of them, and then you'll grab your weight. You'll do 5 single arm presses if you've got a lighter weight, or you can just do 2 or 3 on each side if you're at your working weight. And then you can also do a couple of rows on each side as well. And then you'll go twice that as well, so you do the down dogs again, you'll do the presses, you do the rows, just to make sure the shoulders know how everything's going to feel when you start. With the final part, that's just warm your legs up. So that's just 5 broad jumps, 6 jumping lunges, or 5 on each side, sorry. With the jumping lunges and broad jumps you do in the warm-up, they don't have to be absolutely max power, but remember that when you go into the workout, we are looking for them to be really, really powerful. So you can do a couple of easier, lighter jumps and jumping lunges to start, and then build them into some heavier ones. Going through all that, I think you'll probably feel pretty warm going to the start of it, but you do have 8 rounds of this, so you might well find that the first couple of rounds sort of get you into the swing of it, but just try and settle into it, don't go crazy on your pace, and really sort of emphasise good technique on these as well. You know, get as much power as you can on the lunges and the jumps, and then with the rows and the presses, make sure they're fairly controlled and you're not losing your body positions at all as you go through that. As always, if you want any more specific advice or direction at all, in terms of things like scaling or more specific warm-ups and things like that, then please just get in touch with me or one of the other coaches and hopefully we can help you out with that. But otherwise, enjoy and I'll see you next week.